Alright, so some of y'all might have seen this, some of you might not have. There's a video that's been going around on Twitter of a male Uber driver who was attempting to take advantage of a drunken female in the back seat. I'm guessing you can pretty much get an idea of what it is he was attempting to do. Now, the only reason why we know about this is because someone actually caught this act happening on camera. They got the guy's license plate, they got his face, they got her in the background. You could see the video and you could see her clearly unconscious. And you could make out him pulling his pants up as he's in the back seat, motioning back up to the front. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to play the video. When we come back, then I'm going to comment back on this because there's quite a bit to unpack in here, and it's namely just questions. So here we go.
Yo, what are you doing? Brother, what are you doing this in my house here? What are you doing? Brother, what are you doing? Month of Ramadan, you doing stuff like this? Brother, month of Ramadan. What are you doing?
I said sorry.
What the are you doing? Listen, this is disgusting, mate. I've got kids inside here. You're not. What are you doing? What taxi are you?
Bro, sorry.
Yeah? You're raping a girl in the back, you dirty bastard. Yo, there's a little kid in the back of this car.
Alright, so everybody saw this, right? Now, I think some credit has to go to the guy that caught this on video because none of us would know about this if he wasn't there. So I'm grateful that he was there at the right time. But was it just me, or did someone not hear him say in front of my house? So was this Uber driver that foolish enough to stop in front of somebody's house and then, with untinted windows especially, try to do something in the back seat? I swear that's what I heard. Now the next problem, even beyond that, after this guy who's filming comes on and sees this guy maybe on his driveway, in the front of his house, whichever, right? It doesn't really matter. He just knows that he's in his vicinity. He starts filming. Now, that's a good thing and it's a bad thing. It's a good thing in the sense that you've captured this guy's face, you caught his license plate, so all of that is good, so now you can report him to the official authorities. It's a bad thing because he films him, and that's all he does. Take into consideration that he's already seen that there's someone in the back seat. Now, it could very well be possible that he saw someone in the back seat and could have concluded that this is two consenting adults that are just looking to fool around, but he just doesn't want them fooling around there. That's not what happened in this case, though. He saw the guy in the back, and he saw the girl in the back. When this Uber driver goes from the back seat to the front, he begins to ask him, like, this is what you're doing, almost in a disappointed manner. Now, the reason why I say it sounds like that in a disappointed manner is because he keeps on making mention of the fact that it's the month of Ramadan. Now, I don't know too much about the month of Ramadan, but I believe in certain parts of the entire day, within the 24-hour spectrum, sex is not permitted. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's from the dawn until the sun comes up, and then in the day, you can do what you want to. More or less, for lack of a better term. So that could be why, because he keeps on mentioning that it's the month of Ramadan. But he then faces the camera right into the back seat and clearly has the visual of the unconscious girl in the back. Now, put two and two together. You've just seen this guy, pants down. Now you're seeing this girl unconscious in the back. And you saw him unconscious in the back. You know he was doing something or was about to do something. So you know what he was about to do. The fact that this guy just let him drive off like that. Now I'm gonna hope that he called the authorities. He maybe called Uber. That's very likely what he did. But I'm gonna ask, what would you do in this kind of situation? I'd venture to say most people probably wouldn't let him just drive off like that. I mean, it's not like the girl woke up. And besides, who's to say that this guy, after having now stopped in front of one spot, didn't now just continue his business in another spot? So it's not like he just took her home after and then helped her to her door. No, he probably took her somewhere else. I'd hate to imagine that's what happened, but you gotta imagine, like, that is very likely what transpired. He just took his business from one spot to the next, probably to a more secluded spot. Again, I really hope not. And then the third thing to consider about this. But before I say this last part, let me at least preface this by at least putting this out there. I could not make out the full person in the back. I couldn't really see details, and maybe that's just my eyes. Maybe you guys are much better at seeing than I am, but I've looked at this clip a bunch of times now, and I can't fully see all the details of the individual because he pans the camera on her for 1 second and then pans it back and then pans it again and pans it back. I can't really see the full layout of the person, so I'm just gonna go on to a good assumption that there is a female in the back who's intoxicated. Now, taking that into consideration, she has clearly had a very wild night. Where are her friends? That's my question. Who did she roll with? I mean, it's very possible that she probably called the Uber for herself or somebody called the Uber for her. But if she was out with somebody, isn't that how people roll? Where they at least try to make sure that the person who's unconscious and, blacking out isn't left in the Uber by themselves. I mean, what was her plan here? I don't really understand the strategy behind this, because was the plan to call an Uber, black out in the Uber, and then somehow make your way to your place afterwards? Did she expect the Uber driver to help her out? What, just out of the kindness of his heart, he's gonna now help you to your place and inside and take your shoes off and all of that? Or maybe she had somebody that would have been home waiting for her. I don't know. Whatever the situation is, this is a messed up situation regardless. And I hope that this guy was found. I hope this guy was charged. I know he had to have been let off Uber because Uber has a zero tolerance for this kind of stuff. So, because this guy got his face, license plate, everything, I hope he just reported that to the police and they do what they have to do. But let me know what you guys think. Be careful out there. Uber drivers are going wild apparently. But I'd still rather take an Uber than a taxi nowadays anyway. But that's just me. Anyways, I'll see you guys for the next one. Be easy.